Hey y'all, so this is gonna be a reintroduction video to me, basically just reintroducing myself back to the YouTube community. So there won't be much editing that I have to do to this video, but I think I do want to do my makeup as well while I talk. So if you're new here, thank you for joining. Please hit the subscribe button. Subscribe if you like the vibes. Also, too, don't forget to hit the notification bell beside the word subscribe so you can be notified each and every time that I upload a video. And don't forget to like and share the video. And to my oldies that have been here, follow me from the beginning. Welcome back, babes. So, if it sounds like I'm whispering, I'm really not. I'm just not talking really loud because there's other people in the house that are asleep. But I think I'm gonna do my makeup while I talk a little bit or whatever. But I did want to kind of come on here and just kind of like give like a reintroduction of myself in 2024, and then also just talk about how my life, the last few months of my life in 2023. I had a lot of shit going on. When I say a lot, I truly mean a lot, literally. I had so much going on, as far as like work, health, and just overall my mental, as well, financially, and like I said, health and mentally. I just had a lot going on. So to start it off, let me see where I want to take this conversation for this video. So in August of 2022, yes, 2022, I got sick. I had never had COVID. I had never been sick like that in I don't know how long. No, I did not take a COVID test, so I don't really know if I had COVID. I do know that I was pretty much down for about 5 days. I was down for about 5 days, and I was sick. I had a fever, chills. I was hot, even though it was cold. And just overall, just feeling terrible. I think I may have had either COVID or the flu. Either way, baby, it was about to take me up out of here. But like I said, I didn't take a COVID test, so I don't know if it was actually COVID. I do know that whatever I had, it was definitely symptoms of either COVID or the flu. But I was down. Okay. After that 5-day period where I was recovering and getting better, about the following week and a half later, I started to realize and notice that my hearing was kind of off in this ear, which is my right ear, and whenever I would tilt my head, I could hear something like moving, like it was fluid in my ear. So that started to bother me, of course, because I don't have any issues with my hearing prior to that. So I went to the ER, and ER, of course, wasn't much they could do. They did see redness and swelling, inflammation in my ear. So they did give me some antibiotics to pretty much, try to get rid of the inflammation and redness. So I took that. Okay, and I think after they gave me that, which is some drops in my ear, after that, it pretty much kind of cleared it out, open a little bit. Within like a week and a half later, it was back. So at that point, I went to the ER again. I was referred to ENT, which I did reach out to, and I then at that point started seeing the ENT. The ENT was able to see fluid in my ear, and basically what he was having me do was basically hold my nose and blow through it. So you basically blow through your nose and hold it at the same time, and it'll, because all this right here is connected. Your throat, from throat, nose, ear, that's all connected together, right? So, you know, he just had me hold my nose and blow through it at the same time, and it would pop, make your ears pop. Now, mind you, it helped to a certain extent. And so he did also mention at first about putting a tube in my ear. Now, mind you, at first I'm like, tube cutting in my ear, put a tube in there? I'm like, no, you know. But then he said, well, the next alternative could be, you know, us, you know, making an incision in your ear and draining the fluid out. So I did opt with that option first, because at this point in time, I don't even know what the fluid is that's leaking. I don't even know what it is. I don't know where it's coming from. Me, I'm just assuming maybe it's sinus fluid, you know, sinus drainage, because I have some bad sinuses and allergies. So I'm thinking that that's what it is. It's maybe just some sinus drainage, and it's, you know, got lodged behind my eardrum, da da da. And so he drained it out. Okay, that also worked for about a couple weeks, maybe about, I'm gonna say about 2.5 weeks max. And then my hearing started to be affected again. So then I went back to him, and this is now like toward the end of 2022, or I had went to him several times. And so I go to him and I'm like, that, you know, that worked, thanks, but it's no longer working. You know, like whatever's behind my ears, it's back, it's still there, it's still whatever. So he inserts, of course, you know, the scope they put in your ear to look inside your ear, and he has me again hold my nose, blow through it. And so because he could see the fluid moving, that's all he kept sending me home to do. And at that point, we've now rolled into 2023, and I was tired of him. Okay, so I was like, oh no. So then I ended up calling, because I'm like, you know what, just put the tube in my ear so we can drain the fluid out properly and get rid of it, whatever it is, go on about my business, get back to normal. Well, let's just say insurance is a scam. Okay, insurance in itself is a freaking scam. Let's just start there, because during that time frame, of course, I had a bill. Now, mind you, whenever I went to my doctor's appointment, I always paid something on my bill. I don't care if it was $50, $60, whatever. I always paid something on my bill. And so I did have like an outstanding bill due. And of course, sure, I can, you know, pay something on it. Now they want me to pay the whole bill in full. And after like several doctor visits, it had gotten up to like $1,000. And I was like, no, I can't pay you no $1,000 right now. Yeah, I'm like, I can pay something. They weren't going for that. They wanted me to either pay it in full or pay half of it. So I said to myself, well, I got y'all. I'll fix y'all. So after about maybe a few months or so of pretty much dealing with my ear still, I decided to go and I went to get me another ENT, because I'm like, okay, this situation seems to be getting worse, or not even worse, but it's not getting better for sure. So I need somebody that's gonna help me, because the doctor wasn't gonna help me. Because like I said, the old ENT, I'm trying to call like, hey, I'm trying to get this tube in my ear now. They was concerned about this at the moment. Like I said, I can pay you something. You're just not finna get no $500 or no $1,000. Baby, that was $500 was my car note. $1,000 was my rent. You know, my rent's over that, but I mean, that's at least a portion of my rent. Come on now. I'm a single parent. Chill out. So I get me a new ENT, and the first thing I let him know is, hey, this is what I have going on. You know, I have leakage behind my ear. I wanted to get the tube put in to, you know, get this drained. So this was like, now we've made it to September of 2023. Now pretty much a whole year has gone by since I've been dealing with it. So he I need another one. Anyway, so he says, okay, so we'll schedule a follow-up appointment to go ahead and schedule to have the tube put in your ear. So after that, right, at a follow-up appointment to go ahead and have a tube put in, the worst, when I tell you the worst experience, the pain was out of this world. Like the pain, and I don't have a low pain tolerance, but that pain, no, like you couldn't get me to do that again. Just saying. So I go home, it drains it out. It even kind of somewhat adjusts my hearing, but not too well. So I went back literally, I think like maybe a week, maybe a few days to a week after it was put in. I was like, hey, it's not doing anything with my hearing. So he was like, well, he was just explaining to me how the tube itself is not necessarily to fix my hearing, but to help with the fluid. But I'm thinking, yeah, I get that. But I'm thinking, as the fluid drains out and it rids itself, my hearing should go back to normal, because my hearing, there's nothing wrong with my eardrum. My eardrum is working, it's moving. Like, it's working fine. Even I've had several audio testing to test my hearing in this ear, in the movement of my eardrum. It's fine, as long as there's no fluid behind it. It's fine. Because even when I did get the fluid drained out of my ear, they did an audio testing, shortly after, and they could tell that my hearing had improved because there was not a blockage of fluid sitting by my eardrum. So I'm already aware that it's the fluid that's messing with my hearing, of course, because it's like draining right behind my eardrum. So I went to like I said, my new ENT, entered, you know, put the tube in. I went back like maybe a few days to a week later, and I was like, you know. So he looked at it and he was like, well, the tube's where it's supposed to be. It's, you know, it's in the right place. He was like, is the fluid drain? I said, yeah, it's draining. It's kind of a yellowish color, and it's kind of a yellowish color. And I said, and it has like just a slight stench. Like it smells like fluid. You know, like, have you ever had like a cut or something and it has clear fluid that may drain from it? I don't know if you ever smelled it or whatever, but it smelled like that. And so I know it's fluid, so I know I'm pretty sure it would have that smell. But I told him that, and I was like, it, you know, it drains, I'm not gonna say profusely, but it's draining. So I had to actually sleep with a towel on this side of my ear, because this is really like the main side that I lay on in bed, and I had to sleep with a towel on it. Now mind you, now that I've got the tube put in, it's like the fluid is now trying to exit out more than normal, more than what it was, because now it has an exit. It has somewhere to exit. But then before, it was just draining by my eardrum. Because honestly, like right now, I got the tube taken out in like November of last year. So literally the tube was in my ear. Mind y'all, it was like October when I got it put in. October of last year. It was in my ear maybe a month and a half. I got it taken out because after going back to my new ENT like 2 or 3 times after having it put in, he finally was like, well, I tell you what, let's get a cup, let's collect the fluid, and let's test it. Okay, cool. The first ENT didn't do none of this shit. So I was very thankful that he was trying to get to the bottom of what the fluid is, figure out what is it that's draining, blah, 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 blah. So after about a couple of weeks, it's actually, I think, yeah, it was like the very first part of November, because November 3rd is when I had my CT scan on my head. And so I think somewhere around that time I had collected enough fluid. Oops, almost forgot I did my eyebrows. Collected enough fluid to test. And I took it back to his office. And so about a week later, he has tested the fluid and he has the results of it. And come to find out that the fluid that has been draining behind my ear is cerebral spinal fluid. And for those of you that may not know what that is the fluid that protects your brain and your spine. So basically, somehow, some way, I've gotten a tear somewhere above my right ear or above my right eardrum, because of course that's where it's directly draining down into, is behind the eardrum. Somehow, some way, I've gotten a tear up, up there around that area, and the cerebral spinal fluid is draining behind my eardrum. Now, that is also called a CSF leak, which is the abbreviation for cerebral spinal fluid. It's called CSF. And again, it's cerebral spinal fluid. Again, that is the fluid that protects your brain and your spine. So basically, there's like, you have your skull, right up under your skull is the fluid, and then your brain. So that is what's draining. So then, of course, I had to be referred to a actual ENT neurosurgeon, because of course this is going to take surgery to fix. So he ended up referring me to what he calls a good surgeon in Dallas. And I'm like, Dallas? I don't even live in Dallas, but whatever. So I actually went to go see them for the first time on November the 16th. Great, decent interaction. He basically gave me the game plan for what was to come and what he needed. So along with the CT scan, he was gonna need me to have an MRI done. Now, backstory to my life. I already have neuro problems because I'm epileptic. So I've already, I've had CT scans, MRIs done before, but that's been like decades ago. I'm 34 right now, and I think the last time I might have had an MRI done was like 20 years ago. So of course, I'm unfamiliar with the process. I'm not familiar with what I went through when having the MRI. I think at that time I was a child, I was a kid. So with that being said, I attempted to have my MRI done. Now, mind you, as I mentioned, insurance is a scam. Everybody wants you to come out of pocket. Even though you're paying insurance all year long, they're collecting it twice a month. You still gotta pay something out of pocket. But that's a conversation for another day. So with the MRI Okay, because my doctor actually wanted me to have it done the same day that me and him had that appointment. $1,076, y'all. I was like, I ain't prepared myself to pay no $1,000 and some dollars. I'm like, and mind you, I had just paid money at the counter at the ENT appointment with my new neurosurgeon ENT. I had to pay something for that appointment up front. Well, not up front, but I had to pay something because, of course, matter of fact, it was up front because it was out of pocket costs. Because with that appointment, I had a balance I needed to pay of like $220 something. I paid them like $40 or $50. Mind you, I done drove a few hours to even get to this doctor's office. Like I said, I don't live in Dallas. So, sorry, y'all, got out of the screen. So, with that being said, he actually reached out to a MRI imaging place and wanted me to have it done the same day. So the lady at the front counter, she was like, well, make sure that you call first before driving that far away, because the actual MRI facility was an hour away from the doctor's office that I was currently at. So she was like, call before you drive an hour. Call and get the upfront cost, because we don't want you to drive way over there and then you go over there for nothing because you can't have it done. So they called me, and I literally went right next door to the gas station. I called them to get the information, set up an appointment at 2:30. And she told me the amount. I was like, oh no, baby, that ain't gonna work. She was like, well, are you able to pay half? And they wouldn't take anything under half. Like, even if I offered to pay $100 or $200, they weren't taking anything under half. And the only other thing that may would help me was like care credit or something like that. It's care credit and something else, like payment assistance. But the payment assistance was similar to food stamps, where they go off of your annual income before taxes. So of course, I didn't qualify for that. And basically what that would do is that would just pay for it off rip. I wouldn't owe anything. Didn't qualify for that. Make too much. So then the next thing was care credit. And care credit as well. Didn't qualify for that as well. So it was either pay the $1,000, pay half of it, or not. So I wasn't able to do either or. So I had to figure out a game plan. And mind you, the next week is Thanksgiving. So I was able to come up with at least half. So I made an appointment. I made a follow-up appointment to go back to the imaging place to have my MRI done on the 22nd of November. Yeah. While I was headed to the MRI appointment from my house, from home, and got hit from behind. Now, mind y'all know I just stated that it's a few hours from where I live. Got in a car wreck, got hit from behind. I'm like, out of all times, right now? Oh, okay. So I said, I'm listening, God. Whatever you're trying to tell me, I got you, Big G. So I sat there for like maybe an hour and a half. We were waiting for the police to come do a report. And whoop, got that done. So because I was hit from the back, it didn't damage anything else except for basically my trunk. I still went to my appointment because, like I said, y'all, I've been dealing with this for over a year at this point. And I was over it. I was done. If you've ever dealt with like fluid, even if you've gotten water in your ear from swimming, if you've ever been at a point where like it's, you're trying to get it out because you can't hear out of it, it's clogged, it's similar to that. It's a little bit more extensive, okay? But it's similar to that. So I still went to my appointment. I still drove my ass to my appointment. I got there, and I don't know if it's because my adrenaline was running or if it was just anxiety. Because over the years, I find myself dealing with anxiety issues, being anxious, you know? So I don't know if it was that or my anxiety or hell both. But baby, I got in that facility and I got to the back and I cannot do it. I don't know if, anybody, watching, if you're familiar with MRIs, especially not just because you can do an MRI on any part of your body, but an MRI done on your head. So they put like this, like a baseball mask. If you ever seen a baseball mask or even like a football helmet, the mask part of it or the middle part of it, it's got the lines. Well, they put like a mask over your head that's like that. It's got lines. They clamp it on top over here. Mind you, you're laying on your back on a table, and they clamp it over your head. Okay, cool. Now, mind you, pause right there. When I had my CT scan done on November 3rd, I didn't have any problems with it. No, they didn't put anything. No, they didn't clamp anything over my head, but I still was entered into like a small cylinder machine, except it only lasted for like maybe 5 minutes, and it moves you like in and out, periodically. Like I said, it only lasts for like 5 minutes. Okay. But like I said, I didn't have any problem with it. I was able to go through with it, wasn't anxious, wasn't scared, wasn't claustrophobic, none of that. Okay, back to this story, back to the MRI appointment. I get back there, like I said, they clamp the mask over my face, and they then lift me up, lift the table up, and insert me inside the cylinder. Now this cylinder, way longer, way bigger, and well, not bigger. It's bigger as far as the size of it, but it's way longer because it goes like above my head and like down to the middle part of my stomach is how much of my body was in it. And it's more compact. I've never known myself to be claustrophobic. And like I said, I don't know if it was adrenaline, anxiety, or what, but I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Get me out of here now. Get me out of here now. ASAP. ASAP, bro. Get me out of here. Couldn't do it. I was like, oh my God, no. And I was like, damn, I need to get this done. I've got to get this done. Couldn't do it. So I already had family where I was at. So I had already packed me and my baby's bag to stay the Thanksgiving weekend, like the rest of that week. So they were like, okay, would you like to reschedule? So and mind you, first before we rescheduled, it was like some people have to have medicine to relax them and calm them to have an MRI done. Well, that's nice to know. Because like I told y'all, the last time I've had one done was like 20 years ago. Maybe even longer than that. All I know is I was a kid. Because that was when my epilepsy was bad. So I'm not familiar with what I had to, what had to be done to me to have it done. I don't know. I don't remember. I'll be honest with you. I don't remember. So I don't know if I, was given medicine, if I was sedated. I don't know. Because I don't remember. It's so long ago. So we come upon this, and I'm like, well, that's good to know that, I may have to have medicine. Who knows? So I feel like, too, like my doctor should have mentioned that. Because you can take anything to like relax you. You can even take something to make you go to sleep. Benadryl, anything that'll help you relax, stay calm, and drift off to possibly sleep. You could have taken. You just can't, of course, drive home afterwards. You need a driver. But I wasn't advised of this. So this is where the first problem comes into play with my new ENT surgeon. was like, why you didn't say nothing about this? You know? So, it's Thanksgiving weekend. So you got Thanksgiving the next day, Black Friday, and then now you're on the weekend. So of course they're not open none of these days. So I couldn't call because they were the only people that could prescribe me something. So I couldn't call. So I went that whole weekend not having my MRI done and not having any type of medicine that could help me get through with it. But we attempted to reschedule that Sunday. And then on that Sunday though, I had already had plans to head back home because of course I had worked the following day and my baby also had school the next morning. So I already had plans to leave that Sunday and go back home. But I did schedule my appointment before getting on the road to go back home. Still can do it. Now, I did stay on that table longer than I did the first day, which was the 22nd, the day before Thanksgiving. I stayed on there longer. I stayed on there maybe about 5 or 10 minutes. But I think I opened my eyes while it was going on, and it was like, get me out. It was, yeah, too much. So I called and, couldn't go through it the second time. So at this time, now they're like, okay, well, we'll just refund your money back, da-da-da-da. So the young lady, she couldn't refund my money back. She didn't have access. She had to, give her manager to try to get access or to get my refund sent back to me. Mind you, I paid with my debit card. So I get back home, and something told me anyway when she couldn't refund my money back, I was like, oh Lord, I don't really want to leave and I ain't got my money. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I live, a few hours away. So it's like, I need to be able to resolve this now. So, but I was like, whatever, I gotta, let me get back on the road. Because at this point, it's going to be getting dark soon and everything. And so, I leave, I get back on the road, and get back home. So the next day, I called my doctor's office, and I speak with the medical assistant, and I tell him, I didn't know that, I may need medicine. Nobody mentioned that. I said, it would have been helpful to know. I said, because I could have been prepared and had me some Benadryl. I could have been prepared. I know y'all wondering, like, well, why didn't you just go to the store and buy some Benadryl? Well, who was going to drive me home? I didn't have anybody else to drive me. So who was going to drive us home? Me and my baby, me and my child. Who was going to drive us home? Who was going to drive us from the facility? Because when I take a Benadryl, after, I'm going to say about 30 minutes of it kicking in, I'll be ready to KO. So it was like, who was going to drive us home? Who was going to take us home? Who was going to drive us, not even just home, but drive us from the facility to the next destination? I didn't have anyone. Okay. So with that being said, had I've had, had I've known, if I had even known, I would have had a Benadryl taken when I went to it on the 22nd of November, the day before Thanksgiving, the first time I tried to have the MR done. I would have taken it then. Had I've known I might would need something, I could have went and bought some Benadryl. No problem. But anyway, like I said, I wasn't able to go through it on that Sunday, the 26th. Yeah, 26th. I was counting my days. I was like, wait a minute. 22nd was that Wednesday. 23rd through 4th. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that Sunday, November 26th. I wasn't able to go through with then. So got with the medical assistant. I called them and I was able to go ahead and have them prescribe me some meds. I'm not gonna say what they prescribed me, but they prescribed me something to relax me. So then I was like, well, my auntie was like, well, why don't you go to a facility that's closer to you? I'm like, yeah, that's true. Cause she's like, because they have different touchstone imaging places. Like they have them, they don't just have them in the Dallas area. They have, you know, they have them in different places. They have one that's closer to you. Excuse me. So they have one that's like an hour from you. So, okay, cool. You know, because of course at this point, like I said, I don't live where the doctor is, the neurosurgeon, or the imaging place, the MRI place. So we having to keep driving back and forth 2.5, 3 hours. Do this, do that, do that. I wasn't up for it. Mind you, I'd already had a wreck. My car is still wrecked at this point as well. So after I got back anyway, speaking of wreck, and when I got back, called the insurance company, filed a claim, dropped my car off at a collision place to get it fixed. So at this point anyway, by the end of the week, I was in a rental car. So, yeah, so but I got the medicine, whatever. So then I decided to go ahead, call to reschedule and try to schedule in the imaging place that was like an hour away from me. The next thing they had available was December the 5th. Awesome. Well, not awesome, because then it was like, it was a whole week or so later. I was trying to get something within the next few days. They didn't have nothing. Okay, cool, whatever. Just put me down for December the 5th. They put me down for December the 5th. And I now have my medicine, so I'm confident. Okay, this is the day we're gonna get it completed. This is it. Now, she couldn't pull up my account. And then when she finally was able to pull up my account, she first tells me, first, we don't take payment plans. So whatever your upfront cost is what you gotta pay it in full. We don't do payment plans. That's first. Fuck you. Then, excuse my French as well. And the next mess up was, she was like, oh, we don't transfer money. Now, pause there, because before she said that, I mentioned her what I had, you know, I'd already paid the imaging place in Dallas this X amount of money. Because, and I'm pause right there, because when I went on the 22nd, the balance had actually gone down. The balance had gone down. It was no longer $1,076. It was like 600 and something. So I'm like, oh, you know, I came prepared to pay 500 and some change. But don't worry about it, boo. You ain't got to look into it. Let's go ahead with this 600 and something. So it gone down. So back to the toddler. So she was like, you know, we don't take payment plans, and your 600 something balance, you have to pay it in full. And mind you, on the 22nd, I already paid half of that at the Dallas facility, and they were going to be refunding me, right? So I called them in reference to the refund, and they were like, oh, we need your card. We need your physical card. You ain't finna get it because I'm not driving up there. I'm not driving up there. So when I was in Tyler on the 5th of December, okay, the lady actually, the manager, was actually the manager that was in there behind the desk. She asked for my phone because I had called the Dallas facility for the MRI to get information, to see, you know, where was the money, and so she was like, oh, we sent her. So she didn't take my phone. The manager does. Because then she was like, she wants to talk to him. Well, after she takes my phone, okay, So then they tell her they've sent me a check. When did you send the check? So, because they were saying that only way they can refund payments like back to the card was if it was a credit card. And because I paid with a debit card, they couldn't refund me back on my card. Don't make no sense, but whatever. So they had to mail me a check. But I said, okay. But when were y'all going to tell me that you mailed me a check? And when did you mail it? It's like, well, normally we don't call us to let you know we've mailed a check because the normal process is this, so we don't have to call. I said, I understand. I said, but in this instance here, this particular situation, because it's not the normal, why did I get a call? So he was like, I'm not sure. Let me check. And because then too, they were trying to give me runarounds. Because I was like, when did you send it? What's the tracking number? Where is it? Because this is $300 and something that's just floating in thin air. They sent it off, but nobody has any recollection of it. Like where it is, a tracking number on it. They don't want to give that. They're like, oh, we don't have that. You got something that you're finna give me. So he was like, give me a chance. Let me call you back. So he called back and he gives me information. He apologizes and everything like that. So I think, so of course I drove an hour away for nothing. So this is the third time that I've wasted my time and not done my MRI. So finally I said, you know what? Because I've already been here and I know they take payment plans. I know they already have most of my information. I know that, you know, I can go ahead and get it done. Then I'm just going to go back to the Dallas facility. So that's where I went on December the 9th. That's Saturday. I went there and I got it done. Finally. Got it done. And mind you, then at that point too, my balance had went down again. It went down like 400 or something. So it went down again. And at this point, I finally got it done. Finally. So I get it completed and they wanted to request a stat order for it as well. So I told them that. So that following Monday, they had already sent it to my neurosurgeon ENT and he had received it. Why did it take this man a week before he reviewed it? He didn't call me until the 18th of December. Now, mind y'all, pause right here too. So I think I recall mentioning that when I see him on November the 16th, for the first time, he mentioned that he wanted me to have an MRI done. He also wanted a copy of the CT scan. And his office would work to request it. He said, you can also request it, da-da-da. I'm not requesting shit. You the doctor. You request it. Now let's go back. So that was November the 16th. He said he wanted a copy and that his office, I can also work to get it. His office would also work to get it. So September the 18th, he called me, let me know he reviewed the MRI, but he still had not received a copy of the CT scan CD. Now, mind y'all, from November 16th up until December 18th, I have been calling their office pretty frequently. Pretty freaking frequently. Just to discuss different things, to discuss scheduling a surgery, also to discuss different things because their customer service was not the best, okay? And in between me speaking with the medical assistant, several times. Not now time did he tell me that the doctor was still needing the CT scan CD. So not only is this MRI, not only was the MRI holding us up, because I'm like, why did nobody tell me that I may need to be medicated? Why did nobody tell me that, you may want to take some Benadryl just in case you need to be relaxed? A lot of people, or most people, have to complete it. So just in case, you may want to take it. If you do take medicine before, have a driver. Nobody mentioned none of that. And it's like, why, when I've called you and spoke to you about different things throughout this past month, why didn't you mention that y'all still need the CD for the CT scan? So I done got the MRI out the way. That was what was holding us up at first. Now this. I'm like, baby, I done paid my deductible off, finally, for the first time. And now I may not be able to have my surgery before the year ends. So I said, tell me why. Why? Like, why don't you have it? Like, why was it not requested? To this day, nobody can answer my question. Nobody. So nobody has advised or taken ownership or accountability and said, you know what, we didn't request it. Or we requested it, but we didn't stay on top of it to make sure we got it. Like, nobody. So, and I talked to the office manager. Like, I've talked to several people in the facility. Nobody told me. So, literally that same day or the following day, the medical assistant had requested it from my local hospital where I had the CT scan at, because that's where I had the CT scan. It was my local hospital, my local ER, and not ER, but local hospital. He requested it either that same day, December 18th, or the next day as a stat order. Why did they get it? Now, y'all trying to tell me that y'all requested it a few times. I said, when? What's the dates? They couldn't tell me. They couldn't tell me the dates. I just show in the notes that it was requested, and it's a lie. But whatever floats y'all, but whatever make y'all feel good at the end of the day, that you're lying to your patients, whatever makes you feel good. Because I'm like, how all of a sudden, because I actually went down to the hospital. Because I said, okay. I'm like, okay, y'all ain't doing y'all goddamn job. I got to do y'all job for y'all. So I'm like, okay. And so then she was like, oh, we got it. We just got it, and we're sending it over. I'm like, okay, thank you. So I didn't have to request anything. Like I said, she got the medical assistance request. The lady at the medical records office, which is where I needed to go to request a copy of it. She got the request. So I'm like, yeah, y'all ain't requested this. And it's like, you don't have to lie to me, but also don't have us stalling. So they got that done, and they finally go ahead and get it. So now, after getting it or whatever, so now we've rolled into 2024. The doctor calls me January the 2nd and says, I've been able to review the CT scan, the CD. Finally, y'all, after having it for like 2 weeks. And he was like, so now we're at the point where, they'll be calling you to go over financing and schedule a surgery. So I'm like, okay, cool. But y'all know, like I said, insurance is a scam. These doctor's offices, boy, they be on one. So Um, so with that being said, um, like, they calls me. Cause I asked them, I said, well, is there any way that they can call me within the next, day or so to to go ahead and get it scheduled? Cause like, yeah, I'm ready to get this over with. I'm ready to move forward and be done with this stuff. Like at this point, yeah. So it was like, I'll try to see. Well, after like 24 hours, I hadn't got a call, so I called back. I'm like, I'm trying to see if somebody gonna call me, schedule a surgery or whatever. So the doctor was like, so then he calls me on like, I think it was the 5th. I think it was like 2 or 3 days later. I'm gonna ask you, now mind you, I ain't talked to this man this much since I met him. But he proceeds to call me and tell me, I have to ask you if you could please not call so much. And I was like, I was thinking to myself, excuse me? Then I said to myself, don't do that. Don't even worry about it, baby. Don't even worry about it. Just let it go. Just let it go. Don't even, don't even trip on it. So, I thought that was kind of, odd call to have with the patient, because he was like, we've got you down on the list for surgery. Everyone's aware. Everyone's aware of what they have to do. Everyone, I have my whole staff and everyone's on top of everything. No, they're not, but whatever, sir. So, I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. So, January the 8th, that Monday, I kind of got excited because it was somebody calling from the office. And she called to go over finance. And I'm like, okay, cool. Because I'm already knowing now I got to pay something out of pocket. So she goes over and she tells me how much I have to pay out of pocket. She says up front. And mind y'all, just like with my MRI appointment, I also had to pay money up front. I had to pay out of pocket costs. But if they never said, oh, you got to pay it before you even schedule an appointment. So, me, like on the phone call, because I'm thinking, I think I asked her, are we also going to be scheduling a surgery day? Like, will this, go ahead and get a surgery day scheduled? She was like, well, I only work with financing. That pissed me off because I was like, oh, so you only calling me to go over finance and this is the only call I'm finna get? So that kind of pissed me off because I was like, oh, y'all only worry about money, like, whatever. So, I became kind of like short with her because I'm like, okay, at this point I'm like, what you want me to do? What you want me to do? What you want me to say? Like, okay, you telling me, now mind y'all, she work at the office, not me. So you ought to know what type of conversation you're supposed to be having with your patient. She should have been telling me exactly when it need to be paid, how it had to be paid. She didn't say none of this on the phone call. So after speaking with her, I had started back calling because not because to pester, but I had gotten a email from my leave of absence department at my job that stated that, hey, we haven't received the proper documents from your doctor in the allotted time. Please submit that by this date at this time, or it will result in separation from employment. So I was like, oh, hell no. Like, I ain't about to get fired because y'all not submitting the proper paperwork to my job or whatever. So I started calling back because I'm like, hey, is somebody gonna call me to schedule surgery? I'm like, y'all still ain't called me to schedule a surgery day. And the doctor claimed that's where we was. That's where we was at that point. Debt and financing. So never got a call back from anybody. But on January, like the 17th or the 18th, about 9 days after I talked to the finance lady on the 8th, she called me back on like that Wednesday, that following, like that next week Wednesday, and tells me, oh, I told you what was due up front, and what you had to pay. I said, yeah. I said, yeah, I know what I had to pay up front. I said, I've been over here waiting for someone to call me to schedule a surgery day. She said, oh, you have to pay that before we schedule a surgery. You didn't say that. Nobody said that. Now I'm pissed off again. You see what I'm saying? Y'all see what I mean by the customer service with that facility was piss poor? Because, like, lady, how you gonna tell me now that now it has to be paid before I even schedule a surgery date? Like, nobody said that. Nobody stated that. Nobody has told me that. So now I'm pissed off. So she's like, well, I'm not gonna argue. I'm not arguing with you. I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, nobody's arguing with you. See that? See, when people say that, they mean they have poor communication skills. Because you talking to a patient working in a doctor's office, and because I'm telling you what you didn't say, which you didn't, the next thing you say is, oh, I'm not gonna argue. Who arguing with you? Because like I said, she never said when it had to be paid. Not even a doctor. So, I'm like, okay. At this point, y'all playing games. And at this point, I don't even know if I want y'all to operate on me. Like, dead ass. So, she was very combative, So I said, I was like, that was not advised me. And I said, right now, I've been on leave, unapproved, unpaid leave. And I said, in order for me to pay y'all, a surgery date has to be scheduled so that I can get paid. I said, and so y'all can fill out a form that y'all need to fill out. And she was like, oh, well, they normally don't do that until after surgery. Girl, that don't even make sense. Why would you fill somebody's leave paperwork out after surgery? So I was like, girl, you full of crap. Like, get off my phone. So as I proceeded on the phone, I done, you rude. Like, y'all rude. Because y'all are rude. Like, rude as hell. So I haven't actually talked to the facility or nobody at the facility since then. Because, of course, nobody has called me to see, where we're at, what we're doing, what I want to do, nothing. So that's partially how my 2023 ended. That's one of the things, like I said, aside with the wreck and all of that. Yeah, I did get me a new car though. I did get me a new car, thankfully. Thankfully, I got me a new car. So there's that. But that is how my 2023 ended. I still haven't heard from anybody. So now I think I'm gonna look into my local ENT and see if he can refer me to another ENT surgeon, because I don't even want that one operating on me now. You know how some people just give you like vibes where it's like, yeah, no, you can't even touch me. You can't even touch me. Like, can't even touch me. Oh, and mind you, let me add before I, kind of, kind of like get to the end. She was like, I'll have my manager call. Baby, you thinking about it and call me? No, I said, baby, the customer service there was trash. It was trash. It was just trash overall. Nobody wants to take accountability. It's like, oh, my people, they know what's going on. We got you down on the list. Da, 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 da. But y'all customer service sucks. Y'all customer service is trash, man. So that's some of how my 2023 ended. And if y'all wondering, like you said, leave, yeah, I called the company that my job uses for leave of absence. I called them and let them know, like, hey, I'll be having an MRI appointment on December the 5th. And, eventually after that, once that's received, we'll be looking into scheduling the surgery. So she's like, well, what day would you be coming back to work? I said the next day. I literally told her, I said, I'm like, it's just an MRI appointment. I just can't go back to work that day because I'll be medicated. I said, but I'll go back to work the next day. Y'all, why did my leave of absence start? Why did my leave of absence start on the 5th of December? Because my manager and my team lead was like, oh, we just wanted to go over like your pipeline or whatever, because I know you'll be out on leave. I was like, oh no, I'll be back the next day. So I told my team lead that. And I guess she got with my manager, because my manager's the one that told her I was starting leave. And she called me after I clocked out. She's like, there's a bit of a misunderstanding. She was like, it shows you'll be out starting December the 5th on leave. And I was like, it ain't supposed to. Now, y'all, I ain't never had to take leave from work before, especially for a medical reason. So I am unfamiliar with that process. But clearly, when I called, I guess, and opened the claim and gave them a date or whatever, I don't know. I don't know. I really think that homegirl screwed my stuff up. Homegirl at Hartford screwed my stuff up. That's what I'm thinking. Because, like, I didn't tell you to start my claim December the 5th. Not to where my job telling me that, oh, it's showing you taking leave December the 5th. No, I'm not. So, yes, y'all, I've been on leave of absence since December the 5th. I've been trying to get my neurosurgeon's office to fill out the paperwork that the leave company needs to get my claim approved so that I can get paid. So, also as well, I've been off from work unpaid since December the 5th. And they're not wanting to fill it out until a surgery date is scheduled. Mind you, my doctor said that we were at that point, and nobody ever stated that I had to pay the payment before even scheduling a surgery date. Okay, yeah, I'll be following me in the office. like I said, y'all, insurance in itself is a scam. Definitely health insurance and car insurance. It's a scam. It's all a scam. Yeah, it's a scam. So I was gonna do my face, y'all, just to kind of like do like some little spots on here, just to kind of like cover up some different areas, blemishes or whatever. I was gonna kind of do that, but yeah, I think I'm running out of time. And I'm running out of time. I think I'm just kind of like go in and like cover up some things. But like I said, I'm running out of time, but also too, I don't want the video to be too long, and I'm not really going anywhere. I just kind of want to come up here and, like I said, talk to y'all and reintroduce myself. Because maybe 2024 is 2024 and definitely 2025 is my year to definitely step into my bag, you know, step into my bag of multiple streams of income and just really just vibing with all my people on all my platforms. Okay. That's my goal. That's what I have set out for myself. If y'all ain't out here trying to achieve goals, what y'all doing? What are y'all doing? If y'all ain't out here trying to achieve goals, then what are you doing? What are you doing? So I said to myself that I was no longer going to procrastinate. I was going to do what I had to do to get to the money. Because I also too, after being off from work and after my job told me, oh, you know, your leave starts December the 5th, I said to myself, you know what? For the last like year or two, I've been kind of like really thinking about like getting into my social media bag. And I have been saying to myself, like, you know, I wanted to start back creating content, right? So with that being said, I had already, like I said, told myself that I wanted to get back into my content creating bag, and I wanted to just step into myself, you know, just step out into what my purpose is. Because clocking a 9 to 5 is not my purpose. It's not. I know it ain't. It's not my purpose. So I had said that, of course, like I said, I'm stepping into my content creating bag and just really just getting myself back out there. Getting myself back out there, because you know, y'all know me, you know, I used to be on here doing my little hauls and posting my, you know, the different things that I, you know, had and would buy and get. So I got a lot of stuff in store. Really excited to like get back out there. Like, this is an exciting moment. This is an exciting moment for me. So I don't want to make this video too long. Definitely have more videos to come. Like I said, anybody that's, you know, an old year that's been watching me when I started on YouTube, haven't been on here in a minute, but I'm back. Okay, I'm back. I'm better. Yeah, it's up from here, baby. It's up and it's stuck. Okay, so I did want to, like I said, go ahead and just get out there, reintroduce myself with a reintroduction. Definitely be on the lookout for more videos. Like I said, I was gonna do my whole face. Well, not my whole face. I wasn't gonna do my whole face, but I was gonna do a little bit more on my face than what I did, but it's more videos to come. So we got a lot more talking, a lot more catching up to do, all of that. And I really want to thank y'all for watching me. Like I said, if you're new here, if you run across this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please give it a like. Please share. Please subscribe. And hit the notification bell beside the word subscribe so that you can be notified each and every time that I upload a video. Okay? Because like I said, I got a lot of things in store. Makeup, hauls, daily vlogs. Like, I got a lot of stuff in store. I got a lot to talk about. But also too, I know I mentioned y'all that even after a month of having the rental car, I turned it back in because my insurance company actually total lost my car, because it would have cost over 50% of what I owed to fix it. So it, it just made sense for me to go ahead and just pay it off. So I did get me a new car. So one of these upcoming videos, I will show y'all my car as well. But in the meantime, y'all, like I said, subscribe, hit the like button, and I'll see y'all in my next video. Bye.